requests and wishes from Lifechanyuan to the Chinese government by Xuefeng. To all levels of the Chinese government, I am Xuefeng, the guide of Lifechanyuan. On behalf of Lifechanyuan, I would like to express our sincere requests and wishes to the Chinese government at all levels. First, let me speak frankly about a fact. Although the Chinese nation has a long history and is now economically powerful, its level of civilization remains relatively low. In the eyes of the global public, China is often perceived as a barbaric, ignorant, backward, and feudal autocracy. For example, the religious organization Jehovah's Witnesses has over 8 million members worldwide, with its headquarters in New York and branches in almost every country and region except for Cuba, North Korea, and mainland China. Why don't Jehovah's Witnesses establish branches in mainland China? Because they are afraid. Their members fear for their safety and even their lives. China is regarded as the country with the least faith in the world. A nation without a faith is an ignorant, barbaric, backward, and frightening country. Like a person who lacks integrity, you never know what such a person might do. For personal gain, they may steal, rob, kill, set fires. Faith is a vision, a longing, and an aspiration beyond secular life and detached from selfish interests. With this vision and longing for a better future, people can live with fewer troubles and sufferings. They will willingly and consciously restrain their behavior and actions and selflessly contribute to all things good and beautiful. At present, Chinese culture is mainly composed of 8 major parts. Yixue, the study of the Book of Changes. Confucianism, Taoism, the study of immortality. Buddhism, theology, Christianity, and Marxist theory. The most deeply rooted are Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. However, these 8 cultural systems do not constitute a true faith. Why? Because 9 of them offer a precise explanation of life, nor do they provide a detailed discourse on time and space. Without a scientific understanding and explanation of life, time, and space, any established faith will eventually collapse and vanish as time and space change. So, the so-called faith in the Chinese people is entirely based on utilitarianism. Their belief is aimed solely at gaining something from deities or spirits. Burning incense and kowtowing at temples or worshipping deities at home is mostly for prayer for promotion, wealth, health, peace, or more children. Even many groups that claim to be religious are heavily politicized politicized. Most so-called cultivation and spiritual groups pursue health, supernatural powers, or mystical abilities. None of these qualities as genuine faith. The Chinese nation must establish a true faith, one that is recognized by all nations of the world, one that is enduring and eternal, one that not only brings happiness and well-being to the Chinese people, but also brings blessings and peace to people of all nations. Lifechanyuan is dedicated to building this kind of universal faith based on a Huntun-originated collective. At present, we have already developed a theoretical system that lays the foundation for such a universal faith. It covers topics such as life, time, space, human existence, consciousness, and the greatest creator. Whether a faith is correct must be tested through practice. Therefore, we founded the second home to test and verify whether this faith system can bring happiness and peace to individuals, society, and nature, whether it can bring harmony, prosperity, and universal well-being. Ultimately, we aim to achieve harmony between individuals, between people and society, and between humans and nature. 3 years of building and living in the second home have shown us that this faith system works. We are now continuing to improve and further validate it. The second home is an entirely new phenomenon. Nothing like it has ever existed in human history. It is difficult to define and judge it using traditional thinking. This calls for an open mindset and a tolerant heart. As long as this new model does not violate any laws or regulations and causes no harm to individuals, society, and nature, it should be allowed to exist and develop in its own way. We have considered registering with government departments such as civil affairs or public security, but under what name or format could we register? We could not find a suitable category. The second home is not a formal organization. It is not an institution. It is not a for-profit company or group, nor is it an academic institute. It resembles many things, yet it is like none of them. It is the phenomenon of Huntun, undefinable and impossible to classify under any existing ideology and institutional framework. So, how should we treat this new mode of life and its evolving development? My request and wish are, please do not require us to register with any government departments. Allow the second home to exist and grow in its own way. We welcome inspection and guidance at any time from local government agencies, especially from public security and civil affairs, wherever the second home branches are located, to ensure that all activities are conducted within legal boundaries. At the same time, we welcome journalists to visit, observe, film, and report to the public. We also invite academic research institutions to study our model to ensure that everything in the second home is subject to social supervision. If the second home can be allowed to freely exist and grow, then all external distortions and misunderstandings of the Chinese government will naturally fall apart. People of goodwill across the world will no longer see China as ignorant, barbaric, feudal, autocratic, or faithless. The Chinese nation is a great nation. It should serve as a model and make contributions to humanity. Let us do our small part for that goal. Thank you. June 16, 2012.